Okay, welcoming Lior from Jenna. Hi Lior, how you doing?
Very good. Wow, it's enormous Zoom, right? I don't know why. First of all,
Yeah,
good day, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Oh, now it's much better.
there we go.
Really excited about that, Martin. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good, thanks. And thanks for joining me on this first in a series of open demos. Great to kick off with you specifically. So let me just introduce, and sorry for the slight delay. We were just trying to get our heads around some technical challenges here, but it looks as though we've solved them. So just to introduce, the whole point of this series is to showcase and introduce some really cool new to market and up and coming technology that recruiters can use to improve the way they do things, whether that be automating parts of the process, whether that be engaging with candidates better, or just generally making their lives a lot easier. So I wanted to kick off the series with Lior and Jenna, because I think Jenna's a really cool piece of kit. I first saw you guys back in 2018, I think it was. And since then, I've seen the technology improve and enhance all the time. I've seen some really great things coming out of you guys, but ultimately, it's all about speeding up the time from advertising a role through to shortlisting is probably the best way of summing up what we're going to see today. But without further ado, let me hand over to Lior, and hopefully I'll still be controlling things in terms of getting things spotlighted and what have you. But hopefully you're all okay on the controls. It's pretty straightforward, this process. So let me hand over to Lior, where we'll be hearing more from him.
Well, Martin, first of all, thank you very much. I'm really excited again to be the first one, and thank you for everybody that is joining us today. We got tons of questions from some of you about different aspects of Jenna, and maybe we'll start with a little bit of background. But before we do, I will show you already my screen. Just a second. So we can jump over and just see what we're going to be talking about. So we'll start with a quick introduction, really 2 minutes about us as a company, about our product, who we are, why we are doing what we're doing, and what our mission. We're going to go to a live demo of the system. We truly believe in the company of full transparency. You will see today the basically functionalities of Jenna, which means that all the things that I will be showing you today are out-of-the-box solution, which means pretty much tomorrow, each one of you can start Jenna with all the functionalities that I'm going to be showing. And additionally, we have vast amount of capabilities that are really customizable per client, according to industry, according to need, and so on. We will talk a little bit about coming soon items, really anticipated things that we got tons of requests for in the last 2 years. And we're going to have a little bit of FAQ, which are questions that we normally get about the system, about what we're doing, and so on. So first of all, a little bit of an introduction about Jenna and ourselves as a company. We basically Jenna was founded in 2018. We are an Israeli company. We're based in Tel Aviv. We have a couple of dozens of customers all over. We are a global company, so we are focusing on the American market, but we already have clients in Europe, in even Japan, of course, in Israel, in very, very different verticals. And one of the questions that we always are getting is like, for which industries it's actually good for. So first of all, conversational solutions as a whole, and not only Jenna, are pretty much like good for every industry, but it depends on the seniority of a position or a vertical. So for example, it's great specifically for verticals or categories with a lot of applications per open position, which is normally entry-level blue collar positions. Or alternatively, one of the things that we see in Jenna is that it's a great solution to onboard even more candidates. So if you're struggling with getting candidates for a specific position, that's definitely a way to make it more accessible. So instead of handling the CV and all those things, you definitely can provide them a conversational solution. So long story short, what I would like actually to do is show you live instead of just chatting. We'll go through first a little bit of the control panel and how it looks from the recruiter's perspective. So first of all, Jenna is a web application. It's a web system. It's all in cloud. We have servers in the United States, servers in Europe, according to your, let's say, preference. And what you can do is basically, as a recruiter or head of recruitment, HR, or even founder, you can basically control entirely Jenna from a panel that gives you vast amount of capabilities. Now, the keyword here is easy. It's really easy to control Jenna. It's really easy to get the value out of Jenna. What you see here is a little bit like the basic types of statistics that we have, from how many candidates you have per position, most active positions, total candidates. We have an automated NPS scoring system, which means that every person or every candidate, if you wish, will get also a kind of a questionnaire about his or her satisfaction from the process. And we also calculate that for you in order to ensure that Jenna provides you a great experience for you and for your candidates. Opening positions in Jenna is really an easy thing. We have tons of templates, so you don't need to be a senior recruiter or a senior HR to handle the system. It really comes with the out-of-the-box options and a lot of templates. Just to give you an example, so let's say that we want to hire a salesperson and a call center representative. In a click of a button, we basically we can have all the things that are required for the open position. Let's just do here testing. We set up the education level, let's say bachelor, experience in years less than 1 year, and basically we can proceed to the next step. Here we can just use the template. You can see that the interview or the questions that will be asked by Jenna. In here, I want to emphasize and to explain for those of you that are not really familiar with conversational solutions. A conversational solution is basically a text or voice solution that communicates with your candidates automatically in order to narrow down, filter, and really get for you the best candidates out of the entire pool of candidates. So the candidates, instead of just sending you a CV, they're able to communicate with Jenna, answer all the questions that are relevant for the position. And in the end, Jenna not only filters, but only can assess, and I will show it in really a couple of minutes. So here, in this interface, you can really easily modify, you can create more questions, you can define what is a filtering question, for example. So just for a quick example, how many years of experience do you have as a call center representative? Let's say that anything that is under 2 years or 1 year of experience is not relevant. In a press of a button, you can basically create a filtering question, which means that any candidate that doesn't have like this 1 year of experience will be automatically filtered by Jenna. We can even create an automated response that if somebody doesn't have this experience, he or she will immediately get a rejection or rejection afterwards in a very nice way, intelligent way, according to what you prefer. All of this is totally customizable. It's under your control. We give you the recommendations. All the templates are built by top professionals in the world of recruitment. And any client that we onboard, as part of the onboard process, we also create for them a pool of questions according to their needs. So let's say tomorrow you would like to start using Jenna and become part of our family. We sit down with you for a conversation to talk about your needs, what type of positions are basically required, and we create for you a custom pool of questions and templates that narrows down like your need to invest time in Jenna for significantly. Once this is done, all what you need to do is basically click the button submit, and it will create for you a new position. I will, with your permission, I will just jump into candidates. Before I show you how a candidate looks like, and all the candidates can be shown inside of Jenna or inside of, let's say you're using some kind of ATS, it can be shown also in the ATS according to your selection. There are many companies that don't actually use ATSs, and then Jenna gives like an end-to-end solution where they can actually also see the candidates, all the information. But for those of you that you already use ATS, so we can definitely send the most successful, or according to your selection, even all the candidates directly to your ATS with all the information, with all the things that you need. And here, before I jump to show you how a candidate looks like in Jenna, I just want to show you the interface of Jenna and how the candidates meet basically Jenna. So when we talk about Jenna, we have two ways of representations. We actually have more, but let's start from the basic one. Every account, and you actually can see it here, has its own interface. This interface can, by the way, be customized, branded, modified according to your company's needs. But the basic basically looks like this, which means it's a totally responsive, great looking interface where they can meet a virtual recruiter that is able to answer questions about the position, interview, and also in the end, also assess who is relevant or not. So just to give you a quick example or a roadmap. So the first thing that we want to do is basically to communicate with what are we doing? Sorry, just a second. We need to decrease a little bit the size here. Okay. So the first thing what we need to do is basically to communicate with Jenna. I'm going to give my details. We started the conversation. We approved the terms and conditions. By the way, it's not a must. If you don't want to use term conditions and privacy restrictions, of course, you don't have to. It's totally customizable. We can see the different open positions. In this case, we have only one position, which is product management. We can apply now, and basically we start a process where we converse with Jenna in order to understand what is relevant, who is relevant, and so on. All the questions, as I said before, are customizable. And if a candidate goes off topic, which, by the way, doesn't really happen a lot, statistically only 3% of the candidates actually start answering or creating a discussion that is not about the questions. Then, of course, Jenna can also answer and also take them back to the question in order to kind of push them to complete the cycle. The objective is, of course, first of all, is that all the candidates will finish all the questions. And the second thing is that you will get all the answers that you need in order to make a decision if a candidate is relevant or not. Now, with your permission, I'm just going to jump back to the interface. What happens when a candidate actually finished the entire process with Jenna? And it's a conversation. So, of course, they have different questions according to what you define. They can upload CVs, they can upload pictures. But I want to show you basically how it will look like from your end. So here we have a candidate that not only answered all our questions, but also gave us a CV, also gave us his phone number. We can basically text him. We can view his CV in a press of a button. We can give him a call. So all what we need is just to give a click here. And basically, we have an interface for calling. And we have different functionalities to proceed with this candidate. So if we want to reject, which means this specifically Floyd was not rejected automatically by Jenna, which is also possible. We can decide if we want or to reject him or to approve him, basically to push him forward. In this case, as you can see, we have two options, or to do it via email or via SMS. Both are options, both are a click of a button away. For SMS, we even have already a template that is ready to go. And of course, as part of your onboarding to the product, we also do it for you. We talk with you. We understand what kind of, let's say, language you want to use. What is the persona of your company? And accordingly, we also adapt Jenna to your needs. That's the main screens. We have a couple of additional things that I want to show you, but really briefly. So the first thing is really your Jenna link. This is where you will get your Jenna link that takes you basically to the web option of Jenna. There are several other types of Jenna that you can potentially use. The first one is also implementation into your website. So for example, if you have a company website or recruitment website, you can really easily integrate a bubble of Jenna. That can be done directly here. So you have a section that is integration. You have a very easy to implement code that us or somebody from your side can implement to your website. And all the things that you have seen here actually can appear in a very nice, elegant way in your website. It looks great, works great, both on mobile, on desktop, and that's one thing. The second thing is that you actually can manage entirely all your team directly here. You have my team interface. You can, of course, make restrictions who see what kind of positions, and so on. You can invite new members and more and more. And additional thing that I want to show you is the ATS, which is a question that we are getting quite a lot. Those are the ATSs that we already have integrations with. Of course, we are expanding this offering every single month. So if you have an ATS that is not here, feel free to reach out, and we basically can help you out with the integration. Another thing that we being asked a lot is about privacy. Privacy became a very significant thing in the world of HR, not in HR, in technology as a whole. So we have a very fancy privacy section that not only allows you to manage all the data that is being aggregated on Jenna, but allows you also to very easily to be GDPR compliant, which means that you can download all the information of the candidate. So if somebody reaches out to you and says, okay, please give me all the information that you have about me, so you can do that. And in the case that he or she requests a deletion, of course, it's also possible. As you can see, we have also automated deletion of information, and that means that every couple of months, according to what's defined here, it's defined 4 months, all the information, all the data is being deleted of those candidates that reach the 4 months milestone, again, according to the requirements of GDPR. The couple of other things that I want to show you, or two things. One is stop and reject immediately. It's a functionality that basically allows you to reject automatically any candidate that is not according to what you define. And the next thing is send NPS emails for whoever of you that are using NPS and satisfaction questionnaires and so on. We actually give you this functionality out of the box. Any candidate that will interact with Jenna, he or she will get an email to ask for feedback in order to get really the best understanding of the experience. So just to summarize, and with your permission here, I will finish our demo for today. Jenna is basically an out-of-the-box conversational solution for recruiters and HR professionals. It gives you tons of options to basically assess, filter, and really make sure that we are getting the best candidates into the company. It has a lot of out-of-the-box solutions or options. As you can see, all the things that you have seen here are basically what you get out of the box with the new account. There are quite a lot of things that you can get also customizable. So if you select to collaborate with us on the enterprise level, so there are things like voice Jenna, there are videos integration, video questions, and many more other things that can really upgrade your recruitment process. But now we will jump to a couple of examples to future capabilities. So actually 2 slides before. So first of all, what we see in terms of numbers, reduction of 30 to 60% of time required for initial screening. That's something that we see across the board, across industries. Once Jenna is implemented, and right now it's implemented in various companies from home care to travel to tech, really high diversity. We really try that Jenna will be as generalized as possible. The second thing is reduces 33% on average time to hire. So it definitely accelerates the hiring process. Why? Because Jenna just makes it much more accessible to apply to any position that is open on your website or in the company. And of course, it's also able to match the type of positions to what the candidate is looking for. So of course, it's another driver. It increases the candidate hiring success. So of course, when you have an automated process that is able to basically filter and make sure that you see the most relevant candidates to what you are looking for, of course, it increases the candidate hiring. It's the percentage is really different across industries, and of course, according to the initial benchmark. And in terms of applicant satisfaction, when we started Jenna, we were sure that we will get sometimes like feedback. So, oh, we don't like automated processes, or like, I don't like chatbots or conversational solutions and so on. 99% of the candidates that applied for Jenna only had to say good things. It's an opportunity for them to really show their skills, their capabilities, and that's really significant. It's a huge change than just sending a CV. when we all know that sometimes is overlooked, or great people are overlooked because they don't know how to write a CV or prepare a CV. So here it's really an opportunity for people that sometimes you overlook to really shine. Another thing is how the candidate ranking works. So we look at different things or different components inside of what we aggregated. So as you know, we have a Q&A, the questions that you create and you define to Jenna what you're looking for. But we automatically retrieve information also from the CV, from LinkedIn, past positions, and in the end, we build this score that really can help each one of you understand who is relevant, who is not relevant. We're not trying to do here a magical process. We are really kind of matching what you are looking for to the candidate, and therefore we can calculate the score. A little bit of technology, and whoever of you can want to learn more about our technology and how it works on the back of the scenes, we would love to have a follow-up. But basically, we use, of course, machine learning and NLP for kind of our communication process. We have Jenna Match proprietary tech, which basically matching what you are looking for, what you are defined to Jenna as a perfect candidate to the candidate itself, and this is how we are scoring each candidate. Doesn't matter what kind of vertical. And of course, we have layers of security to make sure that all the private information stays private according to all the recent requirements. And now, really, really briefly, just to show you or give you a glimpse of all the things that we'll be launching in the beginning of 2022. All those features, or the two features that I will be present, were being asked numerous times by different companies. So really quickly, so first of all, scheduling. Scheduling is a big thing. We all know that sometimes there are no show-ups, and there are it's definitely a challenge sometimes to schedule the candidate. So now it will be built inside of Jenna. Click of a button, you basically have an interface that asks you to define the message that is being sent. As you can see, the link to the meeting is already being generated automatically, things that you are familiar probably with Calendly and other scheduling services. And now it's built inside of Jenna. Video calling. So we already have the infrastructure. Press of a button, you basically can send a message or invitation to a candidate to start a video call with you. The candidate will get it on WhatsApp, on messages, according to what you are defining. And in the end, you can basically hop in a call and talk with that candidate. So that's really in a nutshell. Those are the two major updates that we are launching in the next month or so. Again, this will be features that are available out of the box to any company, regardless to what tier is basically being taken or being selected. And that's for now. Martin, back to you.
Wow, thanks a lot, Lior. That's really, really cool. Just hide that Inception type video that was just coming up. So, so thanks so much for that whirlwind tour of Jenna. Really looks good. Really looks good. And there's quite a few questions coming in. So I think it'd be great just to jump straight into some of these questions. First question. Is how does the candidate scoring work if you compare for example, blue collar applicant who has no LinkedIn or CV to upload versus one that does have those things? How does that candidate scoring work?
Brilliant question. And I think that's kind of the point. So the majority of candidates in blue collar or even entry level, if you think about it, like most students or really young candidates, hopefully their CV is pretty much nothing, like really initial information, that's it. And what we do is if the candidate basically has only the Q&A, basically only answered what we are looking for, not only we score him or her, we also score them relatively to all the other candidates applied. So, and that's especially important when we are talking about candidates with not a lot of information or not a lot of experience. So that's one. And that's definitely very helpful. The second thing, and I see that somebody also I see the question here in chat. Basically what we do is that when we have information like LinkedIn, CV, other information that we can extract, we do use it. So we look at all the other sources of information and we basically aggregate it to a score. And that score is basically built, if you remember the slide that I shown, is basically built on top of the persona that you define. So the most important thing is that when you use Jenna, when you open a position, the first thing that we ask is, who is your preferred candidate? Please define. And according to that, we are looking for those things exactly inside the applications. And accordingly, we are building the score. So it's not like this, okay, it looks good or not good, but he or she, they're good according to what you define to us and according to what you are looking for.
Cool. So ultimately, it doesn't really matter how much information. It doesn't matter if they've got tons of information or a small amount of information. It's based on how they match to the role and the personality and all those kind of things, and then how they compare to other people. So it doesn't really matter how much information they deliver.
Right. So sometimes we have people that are using Jenna and they're inputting like really couple of answers of yes or no and so on. And in both cases, we try actually not to calculate the score. We give like a rough estimation, but we don't calculate the full score. And the reason is that it won't actually make sense or it won't matter. We do have minimal information that we need, but even when we don't have this information, still the candidate will be, of course, compared to all the other candidates.
Got it. Okay, thanks for that. Hopefully that answers that question. And a few more kind of throwing in. So if you do have questions, now's the time to get them in, because we are going to start shutting down the stream at some point soon. But it looks like very popular with all the questions coming in. So some quick questions. How many languages does Jenna support?
So right now our main language is English, and we are now currently working on Spanish as well. We assume that until end of the year, we're already going to be in a place that we're going to have at least 4 or 5 languages. And if you have a request for a specific language and you have the volume, a large volume of candidates, we can definitely discuss and we can see if we can make the adaptations.
Great. Okay, thanks. Next question. Is there a live chat facility? I'm not sure what that references to. It could be kind of the in-application chat. It could be to help users talk to your team at Jenna. I'm not sure, but is there a live chat facility?
So I'll try to answer according to what I understand. So in terms of like the live chat, I assume that it's a real chat between recruiter and a candidate. So yes, we are now adding a functionality called contact center, which means that you will be able to see all the different communications that you had with any candidate that you maybe forwarded, maybe you rejected, and so on. And you can engage manually. You can actually join the conversation and basically converse with any candidate. And you will have also the other communication options in that contact center, including giving him or her a call or sending an invitation for a video call. So all your communication possibilities will be in one place, and it will be basically your contact center with any candidate that you want.
Great. No, thanks. I mean, I presume that hasn't been done to start with anyway, because you've got the whole point is such a high volume of of candidates you're dealing with, that from a recruiter's perspective, you need to automate some of that rather than jumping in and having those live chats with people. But I can see the benefits of having some kind of human handover in some of those types of chats.
Right.
And big thumbs up there from the person that's asking that question. So I suppose that's a good answer. Last question is, can you interact via voice in the chat?
So in the chat that you saw, which is based on web and also the functionality that you implemented to a website, currently we are not supporting voice. We do have a separate product that is built on top of Jenna, which is called Jenna Voice, which is basically a voice representation of Jenna, which means you have the same interface, you have the same builder for interview questions, you manage the same way the positions, the candidates, and so on. But the way that candidates can apply is basically by calling a phone number, a designated phone number, that they can basically converse with Jenna. Then they can ask to be interviewed for different positions. They can apply via this call. And this is something that we offer right now only on enterprise level because of different complexities. But we assume that in the next year or two, it will be also open to a wide audience as well.
No, that's great, and I have seen that in use, and it is pretty cool. But like you said, it's just just another interface for conversing with Jenna from a chat perspective, and that's really cool. I know there's loads more that you could show about Jenna, because I've had some really good deep dives over the product. So I know that there's only a short amount of time to show off what Jenna can do. there is a question that's just jumped in, which is around pricing. Do you have any pricing information that you can share?
Sure. So first of all, our packages, or like our starting point, is $30 per seat. That being said, one of the most important things that we believe in is money back guaranteed, which means that if any of you would like to start with Jenna and you see that you're not satisfied, here's your money back. Don't worry about that. We one of the things that, and we have also a lot of questions about that, like how are you different from other companies in the field? First of all, Jenna is totally self-sustainable. We're not dependent on anyone. And that means that you and the clients are number one for us, and we don't have other things that are pushing us to different directions. And we really believe in our technology. So our packages basically start at $30 per seat. And of course, according to what you select in terms of the number of candidates, according to integrations and so on, we build a custom offer. But the starting point is $30 per seat per recruiter.
Great. Well, that sounds pretty reasonable. So look, if anybody wants to find out more, how do they get in touch with you?
So we will send afterwards, maybe for you, Martin, also kind of a little bit of form that anyone can reach to us. Additional way is just send us a request for a demo via the website. It's always easy. We have a great team of onboarding personnel that can basically take you through the system, and also to make sure that Jenna is a good fit for you. We really care about making sure that it's a good fit, and we learn about your industry, about your positions, and then we kind of help you succeed with the product. So any question that you have, Martin, or through the website, probably that will be the best.
Great. That sounds brilliant, Lior. Yeah, I'll send an email out to everybody that's expressed an interest in looking at this demo, so they can follow up with you directly. But look, it's been absolutely fantastic. Great first open demo. Really pleased to have you on. Thank you very, very much. It looks like we've had some really good interest and good people watching this. So yeah, we'll send out the recording to those people that have registered, so that they can look back on it. But for the time being, I'm going to cut the stream. So thank you very much, Lior, for joining me today.
Thank you very much, Martin. It was a real pleasure. Happy to be the first and probably not the last. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Cheers, Lior.
Cheers.